My name is Laura Callan, and I will be the narrator for this short film. This film is for our Media and Technology class here at the University of Cincinnati. Our class wanted to explore how people use media in their everyday lives. As we started shooting, one interesting thing stood out: how much people seem to be distracted by media. Media is all around us nowadays. From smartphones, laptops, TV, video games, and tablets, it's hard to avoid the influence of media. If it seems like American teens are texting all the time, it's probably because on average, they're sending or receiving 3,339 texts a month. That's more than 6 per every hour they're awake. After 4 years of college, the average number of texts sent and received is nearly 80,000. Media has been made a priority in many teens. Did you know that 3.5 billion pieces of content are shared each week through Facebook? Twitter supports over 65 million tweets per day in the United States. Media ecology is a theory that studies media, invented by Marshall McLuhan and Neil Postman. The question Marshall and Neil ask is, how does media change our environment that we are living in? One answer we will explore throughout this video is that so much media has created a distracting environment, from distractions in the classroom, to eating meals, and to even walking. When considering how much media have changed our environment, just remember how different it is for today's generation than it was 1 to 2 generations ago. People lived without so much media, and today people feel like they can't live without it.
I use it pretty much constantly, every day.
I am on my phone a lot more since I got a smartphone. Before, I would just periodically, pick it up. Now, I feel like it's always with me. It's always right next to me. And I'm not quite used to that yet. I find it a little annoying, but I also find it fun.
Would not want to live without my TV, radio, cell phone. I could live without the computer.
Life was a lot more simple.
I think it makes everything way too hectic.
Okay, what do you think Facebook is?
I don't know. Well, I do not know.
One of the biggest social media networks, and I know that because I see my parents on there a lot.
Media hasn't always been around for people to constantly access. Over the years, media has gradually pulled us into using it for everyday use. While media can be positive in some aspects, it can also have a negative effect on people's personal lives. Did you know that synchronous communication activities, including online chat and instant messaging, are some of the most addictive forms? Like all addictions, we tend to be oblivious to everything around us and ignore some of the most important things in our lives, like family. In the midst of blocking out our surrounding environment, we tend to live on and for media and not have any knowledge of our surroundings on a daily basis, which leads to possible media addictions because we're constantly using media any and everywhere. According to recent research, addiction comes from one experiencing serious life consequences which happen in phases over a period of time. Internet addiction has become a #1 problem around the world, causing the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, and the American Psychiatric Association propose making media addiction a mental disorder. Due to excessive internet media use, those addicted also display symptoms such as change in emotional state, withdrawal symptoms resulting in unpleasant physical and emotional symptoms, and relapse into excessive ways. Unfortunately, addiction is spreading throughout all age groups, and no one knows they're addicted because it's becoming part of the norm. Are you addicted? Not only are people so consumed by media that they are oblivious to what is happening around them, but they are even oblivious to the trash can, light pole, or wild animal that they're about to walk into. Our media obsession is now causing bruised knees and bruised egos across America as people continue to suffer the consequences of walking and texting.
Texting and walking, that thoroughly modern epidemic. Look at this guy walk into a wall, or this woman walk into a mall water fountain. And check this out, a bear on the loose, and this man texting almost walks right into him. The videos are funny, but the problem is serious. According to the most recent numbers, more than 1,000 people went to emergency rooms because they got hurt while walking and distracted on the phone. Double the year before, which was double the year before that. Bonnie Miller walked off this pier into Lake Michigan and had to be rescued by the Coast Guard.
I couldn't let pride stand in my way of warning other people, to not drive and text or walk and text. It can be dangerous.
Have you ever had that feeling, that slight buzz in your pocket, or you think you hear a distant hum calling to you from the other room? People all over are experiencing this rising epidemic, these ghost vibrations. You're waiting on edge for that silent hum or that subtle buzz, hoping to look down at your phone and see a new text or a missed call, only to find a dark and empty screen. As digital media continues to take hold of us as a primary aspect in our lives, we begin to focus more on the technology than we do on each other. You stare, so engrossed in the gentle glow of the screen from your laptop or your cell phone or your tablet that you don't even notice a friend who says hi or the tree you're about to run into. Soon, you and your friends are out to lunch and the last thing on your mind is talking to each other, face to face. Instead, your bodies sit near each other while your minds are someplace else, lost in the digital world. According to Nielsen, during 4 years of college, students send and receive 80,000 text messages. Assuming each text takes 10 seconds to send on average, that brings us to 222 hours, or 9.25 days texting over just 4 years of college. According to Rideout, Foer, and Roberts, in a study from 2009, 18-year-olds average 7.5 hours per day of use of media.
Oh, I'd say probably about 20%.
75 maybe? Okay, yeah. So I would say maybe like 50%. There's a lot that don't.
I would say probably about 50% of people probably aren't paying attention.
To communicate is to be human, and we cannot survive without interacting with our environment. Getting information from outside is crucial to our existence and growth. But by immersing ourselves in media, not only do we alienate ourselves from the classroom, but we also numb our reason, perception, memory, and emotion. Multitasking can be beneficial, but it can also detract from our learning experience, and can even go so far as to reduce the amount of information we learn in class.